It's a lot to be said about the times that we're in right now. These current times are always reflected upon as if it's so different from what was. I too am guilty of reflecting in the terms of how drastically things have changed from old. As much as we can talk about how things have changed, we can also talk about how much things have not changed, how things will remain absolutely the same. Like your DNA isn't, well, currently, it can't change. You are who you are from a foundational aspect. Now, we can put all these new wave nuances on it and say what you feel you are and so on and so forth. Right? That's all minutia. That's all noise. The fact of the matter is, the majority of the general public at its foundation is the same as it was 50 years ago, 100 years ago. Right? So, of course, you got your nuances. It's more disease, right? It's more ailments, it's overweight, it's more money. What else is it? It's more options, right? Those is what I'm considering nuances. But who we are as men and women, as men in particular, that shit ain't changed. The traditional man, the masculine man, has been vilified over the times, in recent times, to call it toxic masculinity. I personally probably done seen about 5 or 6, 7%. And when I say 5 or 6, 7%, I'm addressing to maybe I saw somebody give me that energy saying that I was toxic, right? So for the most part, right, high 90%, I've never had anyone say something like that to me. So I personally can't say about this whole toxic masculinity narrative that's going around. However, it's a very big topic, and taking it on face value, which is a good talking point, because it would seem that traditional masculinity has been vilified. So being assertive, being masculine, seems to be a challenge nowadays. Again, I'm using it as a talking point because I really haven't seen it in real time. But that's not this video. This isn't a video to take a deep dive into so-called pseudo toxic masculinity. Nah, not this video. I'm addressing men that has lost touch with their masculinity, with their natural instincts. Now, I'm saying this from anecdotal experiences. Men I've conversated with, men I've built with, they have lost touch with their masculinity. Not in all aspects, and this isn't taking a shot at these brothers neither. There's just certain aspects, and these are very good rapport. We having good conversations, and they will admit that they lack or they lack now, they settle now for what they would not have settled for in the past. Now, take that with a grain of salt. I'm not going to go off into the details of what the conversations are about. I'm going to just kind of be concise and graze over them. However, I also know that once you get mature, small instances when you was younger don't mean nothing once you get older, because you're more mature and you let some things go. But this isn't that case. This is the case where they know they should stand firm on a principle that they have. And then they are swayed and they fold on a principle because of whatever the case may be. Because of in fear of losing your job. I'm going to tell you the number one reason that I've come across where men be folding on principles. They girl they stay with, girlfriend or wife, tell them if they don't X, Y, and Z, happy wife, happy life, then they're not going to give them no pussy. They're going to put that nigga on punishment, which is absolutely crazy. Pussy is the bargaining chip for whether or not your ass act right. And I'm talking about marriage, relationships. I'm not talking about just jumping around and everybody fucking each other. I'm not talking about that. The men typically folds and yield to whatever the request is from their woman, to make them feel good and to get some pussy. But the man will justify it and say that I'm keeping the peace within my home. Now, this topic is a very hot topic on relationship podcasts, and you can't just give this topic a generalization like a one-size-fits-all. There's nuances within these situations, and I fully understand that. And my rebuttal for it is that pussy cannot be the bargaining chip. It just absolutely can't be the bargaining chip. You can't yield to, well, you in the doghouse. You in the doghouse mean you ain't getting no pussy. That's what you in the doghouse mean. I would argue that society has pedestalized women, in particular that pussy, to give it more value than a man's Johnson, right? For whatever reason, we can take a deep dive into those dynamics in another video. Probably because prostitution is the oldest profession, so it was barter and trade for sex since day one, if you will, for lack of a better term. So if you trading off sex for goods, yeah, that's gonna give that pussy some value. And I'm really just thinking this out loud right now as I make this video. So probably that's where the whole more value the pussy that came about. So women, rightfully so, use that as leverage. They use their sex as leverage, rightfully so. So now that we know that females use sex for leverage, which isn't nothing new under the sun, that's understandable, and it is what it is. It's nothing to gripe about. That's the yin and yang of masculinity and femininity, right? Men have physical strength, women have another form of strength or something that they use as leverage, and that can be their femininity, that can be the box, whatever the case may be. It is what it is, and that's just it, right? We only deal in truths, deal in reality. So now that that's established, if you go into a relationship and pussy is used as leverage, then that sets the tempo for the relationship. It's going to be what it's going to be. To come back a year or two later and now you some red pill advocate and you complaining and disagreeing about the box being held as ransom or the box keeping your ass in line, it's too late. You already didn't establish, well, she has already established the box as a prize. So you fucked over. Now, it may sound like I'm passing judgment. I'm really not. If a female has established the box or withholding sex as to mean how your ass is going to act, and whether you verbally agreed or not, your actions say that you actually agreed with the box being held ransom if your ass don't act in accordance. And that's perfectly fine, right? Because I can't govern somebody else's relationship and or household. It is what it is, right? I definitely don't do it. And I don't give a fuck what you think. Pussy is not the prize. Not with me. Pussy isn't the prize. So, and like I said, if a female has established that within her relationship and the dude then went for it, that's cool. I've established otherwise. Pussy isn't the prize. So it can't be held against me like to say I got to act a certain way. And like I said before, there's nuances in this build, right? If you doing something that's crazy or whatever the case may be and she feels like she don't want to have sex and so on and so forth, that's different. I'm not talking about shit like that. I'm talking about literally using pussy to keep your ass in line. That's what I'm talking about. So the moral of this build is that if you did not establish or you let the establishment of your relationship to be predicated on how your ass act, whether or not you gonna get some pussy, then it is what it is, nigga. You fuck there. My advice is, going forward, never let pussy be the bargaining chip. Her as a person, her femininity as a woman, the energy she gives off, that has to be the bargaining chip, not the fucking pussy. It says that it's 10 women to every one man. Niggas, thousands and thousands of pussies. Millions of pussies. Ain't no motherfucking way pussy is no motherfucking bargaining chip. Especially nowadays. It's easy. Pussy is just there. Right? Well, that's the build, man. Like, comment, subscribe, share this shit, man. Let somebody else comment on it. I know somebody gonna want to say that I'm a damn fool and they gonna have some rebuttals against this video. But also, don't let no 10-minute fucking video solidify, or a 10-minute video can't speak in depth to everything that I'm saying. But that's what we do on the internet, right? Niggas get on YouTube and say something, somebody else take it and run down the fucking street about what I meant and how it was said. It's all good, man. Get that algorithm up. Appreciate y'all. Peace.